Hey guys, I wanted to film a 1 week post-op recap because I just want to remember this and the experience that I'm having 1 week post-op, basically. Okay, I'm gonna let my face kind of air dry from the Bubble Cleanser. This cleanser is the Fresh Start Gel Cleanser. So good. Feels so light on the skin. It's great. Anyway, so let's recap this past week. And I want to start, I think I need to break this down into like hospital stay, coming home, food, mental, those kind of things. So for right now, let's start on my hospital experience. So I had a 1 night stay. My surgery was on Tuesday and I was discharged on Wednesday. And let's see. So I got there and they took me back and got me prepped. They brought my parents in, which was who was with me the day of surgery. And then they took me back and wheeled me into the operating room. I got on the bed, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up in my recovery room. And I will say that when I woke up in the recovery room, I was alert enough to know I was in pain, but not alert enough to like calm myself down. And so I was kind of like thrashing around in the bed. But then I'm sure they gave me medicine, whatever. The next time I woke up, I was not in any pain and was much easier to kind of like deal with any pain I did have, which I didn't at that time. So that was unexpected. Now, I mean, I'm 9 days post-op now. I remember the pain and I remember the experience, but it's not like, it's not like a major thing. Now, I'm going to go in with this balancing mist from Bubble. I love the colors so much. Let's get it ready. I love a facial spray. That smells really good too. I love that. Anyway, so within a few hours of after you have your surgery, they really want you up and moving. So they got me up and I had to use a walker for the first time I walked because I was still like very much kind of out of it. I was very much out of it. So they had a walker that I could use and we did a lap around the small area there. And I only did 1 lap at that time because, again, I was really pretty out of it. Not to the point that I wasn't able to walk, but I was still just kind of like disassociating or just kind of like unaware of what was happening. So that was an experience for sure. And then I did walk some more as I got more stable, as I started drinking more liquids. The first day, like when you have the surgery, you're still on a clear liquid diet. So water, 100% juice, Jell-O, sugar-free popsicles. I did try to eat a sugar-free popsicle and I started to eat it, but it just did not feel like it was sitting right. Like I wasn't in any pain or anything. It just wasn't sitting right. So I didn't eat all of that. I didn't eat any of the Jell-O. They did give me Propel. And again, it was kind of the same thing as the sugar-free popsicle. Like, it just was not sitting right. I don't know if it was because it wasn't really cold or what. It just was not good. So I didn't drink any of that. I basically just had water the whole time I was in the hospital. which was fine. So I have a bruise here. It's kind of hard to see. And this is kind of backtracking a little bit because before surgery, they get you prepped. And part of the prep is an IV. And she started the IV in this hand and she asked how it was feeling. And it was like, it was kind of painful. And she said, yeah, I don't really like it either. So we moved it to this hand. You can see I have a little scab there of where it was. So I woke up the night, like I had surgery Tuesday. I woke up Wednesday morning at like 3 in the morning and I had to pee. So I got up and I went to the bathroom and I peed and I went to adjust my hospital bands that I had on. And I was like, man, these are really tight. Like, I don't understand why these are so tight. And I went and looked at my hand and I should have taken a picture. I don't think I did. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, but like this was completely swelled. And then I had my hospital bands and then this was completely swelled because my IV had busted basically in my hand. So at 3 o'clock in the morning, I had to get a new IV because the whole time you're in the hospital, you are on an IV, or I was at least, to make sure you're not getting dehydrated, basically. So that was a fun experience. But that was the only issue we had overnight. And then Wednesday during the day, like I just walked a whole lot. I wasn't having any pain. I wasn't having any like complications. I was just like ready to go. I was ready to get home. So I just walked a lot. And then I was able to have at that point broth, protein shakes, and then everything on the clear liquid diet as well. So on like the Wednesday until now currently, which is 9 days post-op, I'm on a full liquid diet. So I can have mashed potatoes, cottage cheese, protein shakes, blended soups or strained soups, sugar-free popsicles, I'm trying to think of everything I eat, sugar-free pudding, sugar-free jello, things like that basically. And so they start that the day after surgery if you're handling your clear liquids well, and then you stay on that in my program for 10 days. So I still have another day on it. And then you go to kind of like the soft or pureed stage. So I don't know if I'm going to start that on Saturday or not because I'm really nervous about, I've not had really any texture at all except for cottage cheese. And I really only had cottage cheese like the last 2 days. So I don't know. But anyway, back to the hospital. So yeah, it really wasn't that bad. I slept on and off the whole time I was in the hospital. I would walk. You start keeping track of everything that you're consuming at that point. And yeah, basically the nurse came in and was like, the dietitian came in and visited me and went over like the next kind of steps and like the next phase of the diet, which is the full liquid diet. So she went over that with me, and then she explained how like the unflavored protein powder works. You can add it to anything to up the protein intake that you're getting. Let's see what else. And then one of the surgeons came in and saw me and kind of went over everything, checked my incisions, things like that. And then she actually went ahead and took me off of three medicines. Metformin, which I've been on for over 20 years, and they've already taken me off of it because it's for insulin resistance. And she was like, that will resolve itself really quickly, which is just mind-blowing to me. Like, I can't, honestly, I have a hard time thinking about stuff like that because it's like, there's just no way. But anyway, so she took me off the metformin. I was on a muscle relaxer, and so she took me off of that because it was an NSAID. That was why. And then I had taken Ozempic before like a month. I'd been taking it since September and then stopped like a month before my surgery. And so she just completely canceled, like took me off of that for good. So those are the 3 things that they took me off of the day after surgery already, which is wild. And yeah, then they were like, "Hey, you're good, you can go home." And so I was able to walk down to the vehicle. I could have ridden in a wheelchair, but I felt good enough to walk. I'm gonna go in with the hydrating moisturizer. And so I walked down and we came home. And so that is kind of like the first, day of surgery, and the day of surgery, the night after, and like kind of the first 24 hours after. And yeah, so like I said, I'll probably do this in parts. So if you have any questions about any of it, please let me know and I will happily answer them for you. But with that, I will see you guys later. Bye.